Hi, we are back for the latest episode of the Football Talk episodes with the SPL clubs, and this is the SPL preview. And today with me is the head coach of Geylang International Football Club. And but before that, click on the follow button. We are out everywhere on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Welcome to the podcast, Mr. Noor Ali.
Mister, thanks for having me here, man. I think my second time here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we are here obviously for the SPL preview and obviously for Geylang International Football Club. But before we go on talking about this season, let's talk about last season as well. What do you think was the season like last season?
It's a very inconsistent season for us. I think based on what was key, we started the season quite well. Then I think the loss of Huzaifa and Vincent in the team distract a bit in terms of the momentum going forward lah. So because this, especially Vincent, he was a key player for us. So then the season becomes a bit haywire for us. Yeah.
What pleased you the most last season?
I mean, the boys keep on fighting. Okay. They know that to compare with certain teams out there in the league last season, it was very difficult for us to actually to put out even 20 players for training sessions.
Yep.
But I think credit to the players, they know what was the obstacles that they have to go through every single game. But I think what was important last year was every game was very tactical for us, and we only have a few match winners, and we managed to scrap some games 3 points. Yeah.
In terms of, I think you were saying about trying to get players for training sessions and even for matches, right? The reason was because of the streamlined budget for the side last season, or what was the reason? Or injuries mostly?
I mean, basically injuries. And usually when we work in Geylang, I mean, I've been there for 9 years. Basically, we work about 14 to 15 strong players in the squad, and the rest will depend a lot on the young boys.
Yeah.
I think getting these young boys to training sessions is not easy, especially their commitments with internships and schools.
Right.
But and that disrupt a bit in terms of your preparation towards the week. For the game lah.
You talk about the players fighting spirit and all, right? What was the most disappointing part of the season last year?
I think the disappointing part, especially the red cards, because I think it's a bit unnecessary, especially.
How many did y'all get?
I mean, I don't know. I think Ahmad got like 3 red cards. One for just tackling under the first leg, So I mean, like that was the disappointing part for me lah, because for example, when we played against Balestier last season, when we were fighting the 4th place, and then we got 2 sent off, and then it just turn around the whole complex of the game, which we think that we could stand a chance down there. I think to finish 4th, I think it's excellent for us last season, but I think 5th is quite reasonable for us lah. Yeah.
But was it disappointing to finish behind Balestier?
I was not disappointed finishing behind Balestier. I think we beaten them twice in the league,
right.
But I think we lost the most important game that that could have clinched the 4th position for us, I think. But again, we must give credit to Balestier. They were a different side last season. They were very attacking side. It was not easy playing against them. I think they were one of the better teams that could have finished 4th. So I mean, it was quite a close call, but I think they deserve it. Yeah.
You guys scored 41 goals last season and conceded 52.
Yeah.
Right. You see that as something that you can improve on? I mean, obviously in terms of goals, especially, right, you can score more goals, but conceding 52.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you see, like a very good example why Balestier finished 4th. I think they have scored so many goals last season. I mean, I think that was key for them. For them, like they score.
But theirs is a little bit extreme, because of the goal. Yeah, they conceded one of the worst.
I think my main reason is because that. The most important thing is that I got no firepower up there last season. I was depending a lot on Yushi. And even it was nice to see people like Nafwa, Iqbal, getting some of the goals down there. So we don't score a lot, and we also try to keep a bit compact at certain times of the game.
Right.
But also if you look at the games that we conceded quite a lot is basically Abrax. That was quite a tough team to play last season, and then and every time when we start to play with 10 men, 9 men, that becomes a problem. If not, I think from the start we were quite close in terms of that.
I think when you were talking about the lack of goals, like a main forward, a focal point, I think you might have already addressed that this season. We'll talk about that later on, right? Going forward, towards this season, it's going to be a long season, obviously, right? And what was your main area of concern trying to plug those gaps? What was the main one that you wanted to plug?
I think first thing was he's wanted to keep the core
Okay.
core players because you must have some stability in
Yeah.
terms of that. That's why I kept players like Sakuma, Joshua, Huzaifa, Taka, because they basically know what I want, And I think the key point was bringing these attacking players
Right.
in, because we have always been an issue. Besides, we signed Zuzul that 1 year, we did
Yep.
very well that year, and we had never had a proper number 9, And I think this year with the additional of Doi, I think he will give a different aspect in terms of the game.
I think I've spoken to two coaches already, and it's like a merry-go-round, right? Players going from one club to another and whatever, right? And obviously you're going to lose players, right? The players that you've lost, let me read out to you. Amirul Adli is one. Fadli Khamis, you've lost them. Nazim to Hougang, back to Hougang. Hafiz to Balestier. Shafiq Ghani and these local players. Are they going to be a miss to you, do you think?
Definitely Amirul. I think he could have been an asset for me this season.
Where will he be this season?
He'll be in Tampines.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
I think, but again, of course, when players do well, Amirul Ali was without a club last season,
Yeah.
And then we bring him in, and then I think he did quite well for us. And of course, you get better offers from other clubs, and I think that's good for him to get this kind of big contracts, So I'm happy for Amirul, if he goes Tampines and get a better contract, For the rest of the players, I think I would say at this point in time, I would rather give the young ones an opportunity at that position, because you cannot have 25, 26-year-old becoming passengers in the team. You need, if that happens, then I would rather pick up the young ones.
Were they?
I think most of them actually. so I think if that's the case, then I would rather give the opportunity to the younger ones to step up, Yeah.
Let's talk about the big one that you miss. You probably miss Yushi Amaya. I think, I commentated on the games and I watched the games, and he was one of the best foreigners last season. Superb, attackingly, got pace, and he works as well. He's going to be a big miss.
Definitely with this team, because you got Roya, you have Dor, you have Iqbal, you have Naufwa, you have Vincent, and if we could have kept him, it would be nice. But he was on loan, But again, he gives me a different aspect of the game, because the boy is damn fast. He's good with his crosses, and he's strong in 1v1. It's just that he doesn't have the football brains, He's very direct in terms of that. But for this team, it will be good for us, But again, I think he's doing well. He got a better contract I think he's in Denmark right now. So, and then that's good for him.
I want to talk about Huzaifa and Vincent Bezeko. I think you spoke about these two players who were injured last season. I think they were a big miss, basically, right? And I think what do they bring to the team, Huzaifa and Vincent?
I mean, I've not seen Huzaifa is best even before I signed him.
I think so too.
I mean, I've signed him because I need a left footer in the center, so I decided to go with him. But this guy is class. He's class on and off the field. He's very good left foot. He knows how to keep the tempo of the game, and he and Taka actually complement each other. And I think one of the best professional players I've seen, even in terms of taking care of himself, and working hard. And I think for Vincent, that's one key point, that you don't have many good number 10s in the league. And this guy also is a different class in terms of on and off the field. So that's I think that's why I say these two are the key players.
So he's recovered fully. He's great, ready to go.
I mean, both of them recovered fully,
Right.
but both of them have just started training with me, so I'm not going to force them into the season. I think what's important is that, is to keep them fit throughout the whole season, like how you see earlier on. It's a very, very long season. So the advantage part, if I have Roya also as a number 10, so in case if I need to rest Vinny, I still have Roya in that position.
I want to talk about your foreigners, right? And I think I'm just looking at the list of foreigners that you've got. Okay, let's take Tezuka, obviously, and Sakuma. Bezeko, I think we spoke a little bit about him. Let's talk about the other 3, or actually 4, right? Taniguchi, from Balestier, one of the top scorers last season. We all know what he can do attackingly and whatnot, right? What does he bring to this Geylang side? Because, attackingly, he does his... Is he going to do that defensive work as well?
I mean, the day I signed him, a lot of people were saying like, hey, he's quite lazy, he doesn't work hard, and he only wants to play when the ball is with him, But I think he has surprised me in terms of that. During the preseason period,
Yeah.
he's willing to work hard, willing to press, willing to defend, and of course when you get this kind of ball players, he gives you the intelligence of the game, and you like having two number 10s in the
Yeah.
team right now, and
Yep.
he can give you goals, so definitely you have to work as a team. You cannot expect him to defend 100%. I know it's modern football, and everybody has to defend. Yeah, you defend in certain areas, but at the end of the day, you have players like Huzaifa and everyone who has to do that kind of work a bit for him. Yeah.
Uh, let's talk about Doy. We spoke about the lack of goals just now.
Yeah.
We all know what he can do. We all know what he can do. He was top scorer a couple of seasons back with Hougang, I remember, right? He's going to be an asset, isn't he?
Oh, I mean, definitely, man. I mean, you see how he finishes, and his movement.
Okay, let's talk about the training wise, right? Because we all from the outside, people watching from the outside, he's a great finisher, he's a goal scorer, whatever. How about in training wise? Can you see the difference, the gulf?
This is the thing about this group of. Everyone knows in the league that I always love these Japanese players, and this is the reason why I say they come early to do, and after they finish training they still do. And the way you sit down and you just see Doy's, left right finish down there, even without pressure, he still wants to aim at the top corner. He wants to make sure that everything is perfect for him, and it happens. He always, for them, it's always game related. You have to be realistic in what you do, and it's always nice to have this group of players doing extra, and it just give a bit more motivation to the local boys to come out and even do that also.
Nice, and hopefully he hits the ground running. And I think, and the good thing is he already knows the culture. He already knows the football. So I think that's already an advantage for you. Keto Haria, we all know from last season, and I don't know whether he was there for 2 years, 2 seasons.
He was there for 2 years. Yeah.
He can play across the back anywhere, very versatile. We all know what he can do. Brilliant. I think one of the lesser known players, but brilliant. Let's talk about Tanaka Sora. I don't know, obviously I don't know about him. He's a loanee from Matsumoto Yamaga. What does he bring, and what position does he play?
He plays on the he basically can play across the attacking line. So he was playing as a 9 in Yamaga, but I have Doi in this position, but he also can play out wide, right, and left, so he gives me a different dimension in the game, quite strong guy, 1v1, and has good flair in terms of that, so I think it's a good competition because Iqbal also has shown a lot of potential, so that gives a good fight in terms of that position, so
speaking of Iqbal, right?
Yeah.
So how is he doing? Because we know last season he was good, he's scoring goals. There was a period where he's scoring goals and all, got called up for the national team. I think he got injured. During the call-up period and whatever. So I think with these kind of players, they need consistency, right? They need to show it consistently. I think that's the thing. How has he been doing during training, preseason and whatever?
I mean, Iqbal has changed a lot for me. Since last season, he have worked hard. Because I still remember when he came back, I think he was laid off for 1 year again, So I always think that, I'm always like a rehab center in SPL.
Maybe you are, man.
Yeah. So Iqbal came, and then I still remember the first game we played Penang in preseason. 20 minutes I took him out, and because he was not even at that condition to play, but he just keep working hard, doing his own run, doing his own program and everything. And gradually, as season goes on, he starts to. I think you can see Iqbal more of a team player than just individual. Like we always to see you always love to see him on the ball, but at the end he doesn't have the end product. But now you see what Iqbal can do, and it's nice to see that when he starts to link up more and get himself into good position in terms of attacking. That's nice to see, and he has been working hard. Yeah.
What is he to you? Like is he because no one knows exactly like what is his right or most effective position? Is he an out and out striker? Is he a winger? What is he behind the striker? What is he, a number 9, number 10?
Nobody knows. Okay, but again, that's the advantage of having Iqbal, because when you have Iqbal and you need a tactical change and you know where you want him to be, and that's where Iqbal is very, very important. So that's the quality he have. He can break defense. He's strong 1v1, and there's a few games that we just switch him from a left winger to a right winger, because we want him to be in that position, because we know he will create a lot of problem in that position. That is something good about Iqbal. Tactically, you can use him because he's very smart in terms of that.
I think most players, including Iqbal and all these players that can play in a few positions and you don't exactly know where, to specifically put them, they are very undervalued actually.
Of course.
They are very undervalued, but and they are not always the stars of the team, but they are very, very important. And I think you said it at the there about Iqbal. Well done. Preseason. How has preseason been? I know coaches are saying that it's a long season, but I think it is what it is. We got to just go on with it because it's the new, whatever you want to call new norm or whatever. How has preseason been for you guys?
I mean, for me, it has been good because we actually started our first 6 weeks only with strength and conditioning work.
Okay.
That's why there was no football. We just started football about maybe 3 weeks.
Okay.
Because we know that season is going to be very long, and so far I've seen good progression because usually at this point of time I've already a lot of injuries, so it's nice to see that the boys are putting in effort in the first part of the 6 weeks, and you can see a different physical condition they are in when they go into the football session. I think that gives us a bit of preparing them better for the long season because usually you don't have that much time to focus on the strength and conditioning. It has to be incorporated during the season, but it's nice to have that 6 week first.
Is that probably why, in this so-called pre-season friendly games that FA has introduced, right?
Yeah.
Is that probably why most of the teams or players who are playing are not the full, because they need to get prepared properly first.
Yeah.
They need to know when is the first game for example before. Is that the reason why?
I think for me, I've not fielded the first team yet, in a full team yet. There's only one game because I think there was a reason they wanted to see certain players, and I just put them in. And at halftime, I look at them and I say, look at the condition, these boys are not ready yet. I think we know that the season is going to start in May, and you have like 5 months of preseason, and then you ends next year, 1st June, with the cups and everything. And if you don't manage, we don't have 30 players in the squad. We basically have maximum 20 to 22 players, so if you don't manage this, then this is going to be a big problem, so I think that was important for me during the prep. In terms of the preseason.
If you take away all the players that you mentioned, right, is there any 1 or 2 players to look out for Geylang this season? If you take out the usual suspects, right, Bezakor and Iqbal, do you have any 1 or 2 players that you think could be a breakout season maybe?
For this season, it's very hard for me.
Okay.
Because every season I would have said maybe 1 player.
Right.
Because I think after 9 years in
right,
I've seen a quality side down here.
Okay.
What I want to see is the difference in terms of having a individual player. I want to see the team out there going out, and perform better than the last few seasons.
Okay.
I think.
Come on, name one. Maybe a young player that you think maybe. Yeah.
I have a very very good few young players in the under 21. I think one of them is a centre back called Banabi, and but he's a foreign player, but he's quite good. I think that's one potential guy. Iksan, I think he's quite good. These 2 boys, I think the hardest part this season is that with the 6 foreigners and 5 local players, that's the hardest part of them breaking into the team like the last few seasons.
Right.
You ask me first team, very hard for me to actually pick one.
So let's get this right first. So in a game now, 6 foreigners can start, correct? So 6 foreigners can start, right? Okay, I think the youth players now, they've got to really be a little bit more extra.
Yeah.
In terms of whatever talent, quality, and whatever to really break out into the team. And I think that's going to be a big ask for them, right? What can we expect from Geylang this season in terms of without really revealing whatever secrets or whatever in terms of formations or whatever? What can we expect? The brand of football.
There's no secrets lah. We play 4 times.
After the first game, everything is out.
After the first game, everything is out. And you gotta face everyone 3 times more, plus the cup. So no, I think for me is that if you talk about Geylang strengthening up the squad, but we must not forget that every single team has strengthened the squad. So I think what's important is that there's a certain way we want to play. I mean, there's a certain way that I've always wanted to play, and
okay, let's take forget about the side. Forget about the team that you have now. Okay, what kind of football would you?
I mean, everyone knows I love the possession-based football,
right.
and then high pressing, and then you counter press up there, try to win the ball higher up. But it's not easy doing that because, you need to have a set of players
Yep.
which you can sign and put
Okay.
it across whatever you want,
Okay.
and you have certain qualities. I have certain qualities last 2 seasons, but like I say, when injuries come in, it becomes very hard to replace that player.
Okay.
But I think this season I have that group of players that I want to play the football I want to play. So I mean, everybody knows this. I mean, whoever who has played for me, they know this. If you cannot run, if you cannot press, then it becomes very hard to play for me.
Right.
And in terms of have the ball, I think mobility is key in my team. Everybody has to move. And we have a certain way we want to play.
Okay.
Because for me, I think I'm more going into a game tactically than instead of staying with a certain philosophy. The philosophy doesn't change.
Okay.
But what's important is that players must be able to adapt to tactical changes when it happens. So this is very important to me. So how to educate this is not easy. You need smart players, you need intelligent players who understand the way I want to play.
You talk about the way that you want to play and stuff, right? Are you, I wouldn't say happy, are you satisfied with the players that you've got, that you brought in to then fit into whatever system that you want to play?
For this year, yes.
Yeah?
Because I think you have watched a few Geylang games. I mean, you see something that we don't stick to a certain formation. We play the same way, but we don't stick to a certain formation. We change the formations according to sometimes. So that's where we are talking about adapting to certain tactical changes in the team. So I'm happy to see that I can play a back three this season if I want to, and I have very good three defensive midfielders out there, who can do the job. I have four centre back, including Joshua out there. I have Shakir, I have Ahmad, I have Nakudin, who can place. Okay. If you talk about one player that will break out this season, now I mentioned his name.
You
Now I
forgot.
remember.
You forgot.
I think Nakudin will be the one.
Okay,
Okay,
great.
because I think the boy is a national player material. He's got good speed, good crosses, good energy, excellent attitude. I mean, I signed him what I see him in Tanjung Pagar, but I didn't know that this boy actually has more than whatever I've seen him. So Nakudin is one of them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Finally, Noor Ali, your goals and targets for the club and the side this season. It could be in terms of position, in terms of points total, whatever. What is your target?
I mean, definitely we want to do better than the last few seasons, But of course, at the club level, we want to finish, because we have always been in the mid-table. It'd be nice if we can, finish in the top three this season, And I think the boys know how important this season is for Geylang, especially is our 50th anniversary. Going
50th?
Yeah, 50th anniversary.
Okay.
Maybe your time is what, 20?
I think so.
So
Not that bad lah.
yeah, not that bad. So it's the Geylang 50th anniversary. I think everybody wants to do well for the club, this season, and definitely we want to be in top three. And again, definitely AFC is always something that Geylang wants to be part of every year, and something that has, the year that we qualified and COVID comes in. So hopefully nothing comes in if we qualify this time around.
This is something extra that I wanted to ask, right? Do you actually set like individual goals for individual players? Like, okay, for example, Doi, you pull him aside and said, this is your target for this season, 25 goals.
Okay, so what we do is this is every season. Every season when we go for preseason, we have I have a individual meeting with the players. I don't set targets for them. I want them to set targets for themselves. They must have certain expectations in themselves. I don't want to set a target and say that's putting pressure on them. I think it's good that they know what they can do and let them set the target for themselves. So they know that I've reached here. But at the same time, I will tell them what's my expectations from them. It sounds smart, Saleh, So I set a certain expectations from them. I what I need from them, what kind of behavior. So there's a few leaders in the team. What kind of responsibility I need from them. Especially when you have Joshua as the captain of the team. Actually the captain back, I must hang him in the neck. So that there are a few things that we actually do during the preseason, and then we sort these things out.
Nice. Lastly, Noor Ali, any message for the fans who've been following you guys everywhere, from OTH to OTH to Jalan Besar? It's so weird that even playing on home ground seems like it doesn't matter in Singapore, right? Yeah. Any message for them?
I think first of all, I just want to thank them for always being there for the club. Been supporting. It was very 9 years has been a very rough season for them coming. Don't know what to expect from this. I think keep supporting us. Come down on our first game. I don't know where we were playing. Oh, no, sorry, we're playing Bishan. Against Balestier.
Right.
On
It should
the
be a
10th.
good game, man.
Yeah, that will be a very good game, I think.
Yeah.
Come down, keep supporting us this season. Definitely support the new kit.
Yeah.
I think it's quite nice this season. Very nice kit that we have. I think it was one of the Ultra Eagles.
It's green or
It's green. Yeah, same like green white.
okay.
Yeah. But I think this season is quite nice.
Okay,
Something
good.
different. So go out there, get a kit, and come down to the stadium and watch us on the 10th of May against Balestier.
Noor Ali, thank you so much. It's always been a pleasure talking to you, talking about football, talking about every other thing. I think it's always been a pleasure. Good luck
Thank
to
you.
the team. It's going to be a long season, and we wish you all the best. Obviously, stay free from injuries. Not you, but the players. Again, this has been the latest episode of the Silverfox Hustle podcast, the SPL preview with Geylang International. And till the next time, I see you soon. Cheers.